In 1986, the United States launched a massive immigration amnesty program. It offered millions of undocumented people a rare path to legal status. The policy relied on a difficult request. The government asked undocumented immigrants to willingly walk into the offices of the INS, the exact agency responsible for their deportation. Despite the risk, California's Central Valley produced an anomaly. The Fresno INS office processed more applications than any other location in the country. This success relied on an INS adjudicator named Jenny Rodríguez, who stepped in to bridge the deep-seated fear between the agency and the community. Jenny offered the INS something a top-down directive could not: the shared history and specific scars of the people she was suddenly judging. Jenny's story begins in 1950s Fresno, rooted in a reality far removed from government bureaucracy. Her mother suffered from severe tuberculosis. To prevent contagion, she was isolated in a sanitarium, passing away when Jenny was just a child. After being placed in a loving foster home, a young Jenny was abruptly pulled back by her biological father, an older, deeply abusive man. In his house, she endured severe physical and emotional torture from him and her older step-siblings. Her survival meant following the harvests across the West Coast. She lived in dilapidated labor camps, picking cotton, potatoes, and berries in grueling heat, often scavenging in garbage cans just to eat. Because the harvest seasons dictated her life, her father pulled her out of school weeks before the term ended and returned her weeks after it began. She never received a high school diploma. This childhood served as a brutal first-hand masterclass. Long before she worked for the government, Jenny learned exactly what happens when the powerful exploit the powerless. At 17, Jenny escaped her father's control and married. A decade later, now a single mother with 3 daughters, she decided to seek the education that had always been denied to her. She didn't take remedial classes or settle for a GED. Instead, she demanded the local college pull her old middle school records and let her take an entrance exam. She scored so high, they admitted her immediately. She excelled, graduating Magna Cum Laude from Fresno State with a degree in sociology in 1986. In sociology classes, she discovered a concept that would define her career: the change agent. A change agent is an individual who works within an unbalanced system and intentionally shifts power, knowledge, and resources back to the people who need them most. Higher education gave her the tools to process her trauma. It turned a victim of a cruel system into a skilled operator equipped to dismantle it. Her deep empathy for exhausted laborers caught the attention of local officials, who recruited her to judge applications for the new INS amnesty program. She immediately spotted a new kind of exploitation. Predatory immigration consultants were swooping in, charging terrified, uneducated farm workers exorbitant fees to fill out basic government forms. Jenny eventually took her work outside the office. With the blessing of her supervisor, she traveled to rural labor camps after hours and spoke on live Spanish radio broadcasts to reach the community directly. She looked people directly in the eye, spoke in plain Spanish, and told them exactly how to navigate the paperwork themselves, often instructing them to have their bilingual children fill out the forms for free. She weaponized her authority from inside a feared government agency. By democratizing legal knowledge, she protected her community from predators. The results were measurable. Because Jenny taught families how to file their own paperwork, the Fresno INS office processed more successful amnesty applications than almost any other location in the country. Even today, decades into her retirement, she continues to act as a change agent. She spends her days collecting, washing, and sorting donated clothes and toys, driving them out to families in rural migrant camps. Her drive is rooted in a core philosophy she calls the cup. You must fill your own cup first, with education, self-respect, and care. Only what spills over the top, the overflow, is given to others. True empowerment is a 2-step process: unapologetic self-preservation, followed by relentless community redistribution. Jenny Rodríguez took a childhood defined by trauma and exploitation and inverted it. She proves that the most effective architects of justice are often those who survived the deepest injustices and simply refused to remain victims. Listen to the full interview with Jenny on the podcast Sabiduría para tu Día con Álvaro Martínez, or search Wisdom for Your Day on YouTube.